why investing in real estate is easier than you think. Let's jump right into it. All right, but first, smash that like button, literally Hulk smash that like button. It really helps out for the YouTube algorithm. But let's jump right into it, which is you've got to understand the fundamentals. It may seem complicated and overwhelming. The same thing as learning any new skill. Let's say when you first started riding a bike or getting potty trained, for instance. I wish I could go back to those days before potty trained, because now I actually have to go to a toilet.
Sitting on toilet.
Yes, at first is when you were riding the bike, for instance, you had to think of, okay, how do I stop? Okay, how do I pedal? Okay, how do I do the mechanics of balancing myself? But then once you got it, you actually got it. And one hack that you can actually use is the 80-20 principle, which in this case is there's 20% of actually what you need to know to get going. And the other 80% is good to know, or fluff, as I would say, is you need to know what cash flow is. You need to know what a cap rate is. You need to know where to find deals is, okay, if you're going to go on market, okay, these are the brokers or the agents that you're going to use. Okay, if you're going to go off market, okay, you're going to go through wholesalers, or let's say you're going to go direct to the owner and then make phone calls or send emails, etc. So there's that. And then also the lingo, because the lingo and the terminology that is said in this particular industry, it's very common, the same things that are used over and over. So, and know that it doesn't take a lot of money, if any, to get started. For myself is I started with zero money. Actually had negative funds in my bank account, just not being financially smart in my early 20s, but ended up finding someone to partner with on that very first deal. This deal actually up here, that was $25,000 was the purchase price, $25,000 was the rehab, and none of that actually came out of my pocket because I didn't have any. And then secondly is that you can negotiate with the seller for you to not have to put any money down or little money as well. And this comes down to how motivated they may be, and then also your negotiating tactics that you have as well, or your negotiating skills. So
set it up for you. That would save you some money. If you get the forms, I'll prepare them for you.
it doesn't take a lot of money to get started, and it's not rocket science. Is that when you're looking at the numbers objectively and not getting emotionally involved, is that at its core, does it make sense? Does it make you money? Is looking at the income, the operating expenses, and if you have debt on the property, is there money left over, which is cash flow? And based upon that cash flow and the return of your money that you have invested, does it justify the amount of risk? That is one of the most important elements. And realize you don't have to do everything. This is a team sport, and if you're trying to do it all on your own, that's just more risk and more of a probability of you making a mistake that could actually cost you. And I'll give you a prime example. I made a $1 million mistake on a deal where I had to go back to the seller and renegotiate a lower purchase price, and they were not so happy. Still ended up getting the deal, but could have blew myself out of that completely. And it's good to have a second set of eyes when running the numbers on deals. And with having people on your team is looking to build around the weaknesses that you have. For me, for instance, 1 + 1 =
21.
I'm not the best when it comes to math, so I have a partner that is the one that analyzes the deals, builds out the models. That way we can make an educated decision whether or not the investment makes sense. And when it comes to managing people, that's not something I enjoy or have the patience for. That's one thing I've really learned from those who are even further along than me, is to build up on your strengths and then put people around on your weaknesses, and that will enable you to go further. And realize you don't have to have all the answers.
That's why take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
You can never know 100% of actually what you need to know. And just by taking action, you're able to go out there and get the feedback and then make the necessary pivots and change based upon that. And this will put you further ahead than many people because they never get started because they believe they actually have to have all the answers. So that's all I have for you all. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And I appreciate you all so much. I'm getting tripped up on my words. Keep being awesome. Thank you.